Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at the World of Greyhawk, the Bandit Kingdoms. I love the Bandit Kingdoms. I have used these pretty much since I've been in Greyhawk. And instead of Bandit Kingdoms, they ought to just call them sandbox. You can do anything you want in the Bandit Kingdoms. I really enjoy it. Their location, the Tangle's a forest up there, but you've got the Rift Canyon, you've got White Plume Mountain right there, and then you've got the various Bandit Kingdom cities, including Stoink, Hellstone, Edge, Riftcrag, and several others. And I've used them over the years. They can be a ton of fun. I've done one or two battle systems where it was just various forces from the Bandit Kingdoms fighting each other. But for today's conversation, I'm going to use the gold box of Greyhawk from 1983. And the reason I'm choosing that, here's the gold book. The gold book is right there. The reason I'm choosing that is the From the Ashes set from the early 90s has the Bandit Kingdoms all having been conquered by Ayus. And, oh, it's terrible there. But I didn't do that. I have used the Bandit Kingdoms for too long, had too many players and NPCs set up in the area. I wanted to leave it like it was. So what I do when I do these series, I try to have it reflect what I did in my campaign. So I'm just going to the older source for that. So here we go, a guide to the World of Greyhawk fantasy setting, and we go to Bandit Kingdoms. I love Bandit Kingdoms. Bandit Kingdoms, various claims to royal titles exist. The capital, largest city in the strongest state, is currently Rookroost, with about 17,000 people in it. Total population of the kingdoms themselves, 95,000 plus. Demi-humans, few if any. Humanoids, many, some of the fun. Resources, silver, mines in the Rift area. The Bandit Kingdoms are a collection of petty holdings which were founded sometime around 300 to 350 Common Year. This collection of small personal territories stretches from the southern Shieldlands to the Bluff Hills and the northern verges of the Felreave Forest, from the Ratenza River to the Artensmay River to the east. Each little kingdom is ruled by a robber chieftain claiming a title such as Baron, Boss, Plar, General, Tyrant, Prince, Despot, and even King. The territorial boundaries of the holdings of these kinglets are subject to rapid change due to sudden warfare and defeat or victory. In all, there are 17 states within the confines of the area, ruled by 4 to 6 powerful rulers, with the rest simply either attempting to become rulers or just survive. The relationship, it persists because no single bandit lord is strong enough to conquer the whole territory, and the combined strength of all is often required to defend against neighboring states' retributive expeditions. So bandits and brigands band together in self-interest, and no kinglet, regardless of ambition, has seriously attempted to rule the whole, for fear that threatened lords would turn to neighboring states in spite, even at the risk of destruction by the summoned ally. Thus, the combined kinglets continue to stand more or less together. The total military strength of all territories is quite considerable due to the fact that each ruler maintains a large force with which to raid and pillage. There are probably some 10,000 regular troops in total, if recent reconnaissance is to be trusted. That's a lot of bodies able to fight in a setting like D&D, or like Greyhawk, and I like that a lot. As I said, I've done some battle system in the area. I like that there's so many different city-states, 17 of them, and I mirror my city-states based on the stuff out of D&D and out of the World of Greyhawk, but I also base it on history. The French city-states, the Italian city-states. There were a lot of historical things to draw from, and this is the place, more so than most of Greyhawk, where you can actually use the city-state model and get some stuff going. Greyhawk City, at first, in the early days, was a city-state. They were always fighting with Hardby, and that's kind of gone by this point because everything's kind of matured. But the Bandit Kings are still there, still spawning for a fight, and can be a lot of fun. I have done a campaign where everybody was evil, working in the Bandit Kingdoms, and I've done one where they had to go to the Bandit Kingdoms to rescue NPC X. These are featured also in the Gore the Rogue books. In the very first one, there's a lot on Stoink, and Stoink is ruled by Boss Daly. It's like Dhaley, and of course Gary Gygax was born in Chicago and moved to Wisconsin, but Mayor Daley the first, Richard J. Daley, was the mayor. He passed in '76, I want to say, but he was known as Boss Daly, or the boss. And I think that's where Boss Daly came from for Greyhawk. But it's fun. But yeah, Bandit Kingdoms, whether you want to set your players up and have them have a fiefdom and rule from there, or they just have to go in and deal with the denizens of the Bandit Kingdoms, or maybe they're going to the Tangles and have to go heal up after a big encounter in the Tangles. They have to go heal up in some of the Bandit Kingdoms. There's a ton of stuff you can do. Now, I have influence in several of the Bandit Kingdom holdings, but I don't have him be the be-all and end-all. My opinion, I love From the Ashes, but they made things a little too much on the bad guy's side. All of a sudden, the Scarlet Brotherhood has just assassinated all these kings all across the Flanis. Ayuz has come in and conquered most of the Bandit Kingdoms, and I didn't do that. I didn't want big, bad, evil guys running so much stuff. So I kind of held the status quo a little bit. I've done some skirmishes with Ayuz and the Bandit Kingdoms and stuff, but by and large, they're as described here. So there you have it. That's all I've got to say today about the Bandit Kingdoms in the World of Greyhawk. I love this place. It's one of my favorite areas to run a game in. Let me know what you think. Have you used the Bandit Kingdoms? If you have you had good luck there? Maybe I'm not thinking of some other adventurous thing to be there. Of course, I've run White Plume Mountain, and that's right there. It's a good place to adventure. But please leave comments below if you enjoyed the video. Any suggestions for future videos? I'm always interested. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends. Let's keep growing the channel. And that's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.